Hello friends, I welcome you on Byjus Exam Prep, India's most comprehensive preparation platform for all the engineers. All the candidates who are joining me live, just quickly confirm your presence in the comment section and tell me whether my audio visual quality, everything is clear so that we can start with the session. Now till you are going to report me this, let me just brief you that what we are going to do in this session and how this session is going to be useful for you for your, not just for the exams but beyond your exams. Friends, today we are starting a series of sessions for all your worries as far as current affairs is concerned. Today we are going to have the first episode. You must have observed this, that when you go for any particular examination, there are certain stages in those examinations. There may be a written test, there may be a group discussion, there may be interview round also. As far as written test is concerned, some exams may be having current affairs as one part of the syllabus and some exams may not have. But when it comes to the remaining two rounds, whether it is group discussion or the interview or the personality test, current affairs is going to play a very important role in getting success in those rounds of the examination. There are some more advantages of having a certain grip over current affairs. It also gives you an improvement in your overall personality, whether you are preparing for the job or after coming into the job, your grip over the current affairs is going to play a very important role. So all the candidates who are joining me live, just quickly confirm your presence once again. Hi Rahul, thank you so much for waiting before the session starts. Amritangshu, Ashish, good morning. I will tell you, Ayush, don't worry. He's asking for which exam these sessions are targeted. So let me just brief you some basic idea about that, how these sessions are going to be useful for you. Let me tell you. Number one, if you are preparing for any examination conducted by UPSC, when I say any examination, I am majorly focusing on the engineering jobs. Even though current affairs is going to be overlapping with other exams also. But my intention is that you should have, you are having a technical bent of mind. Now for a candidate who is already in deep neck in technical education, it is little difficult to go for topics in current affairs. So how to focus on important areas and what to read and what not to read. This is the most important confusion in most of the candidates. When it comes to current affairs, if somebody asks you what is the syllabus for current affairs, so there is a simple statement for that. Everything under the sun is going to be the syllabus for current affairs. So it becomes very difficult for any candidate, even if he or she is going to be very excellent in the technical part, what to read and what not to read as far as current affairs is concerned. So the first thing is, if you are preparing for any examination conducted by UPSC, it may be engineering services examination and it may be other examination, then these sessions are going to be extremely useful for you. Let us come to the next part. If you are preparing for GATE examination and you are opting for a PSU job, public sector undertaking job, for example, if you talk about electrical engineers, it may be NTPC, it may be power grid, it may be some state generation utilities, distribution utilities, or for other engineering streams also, there may be various, you can say, exams in which you will be facing current affairs as one of the important dimension of your exam. There may be some other PSUs which conduct their own written test. For example, HAL. And there may be other exams also which you see that they have certain portion as far as your current affairs is concerned. When it comes to the PSU jobs through the GATE examination, definitely for these PSU jobs, you have to appear for the interview round or the group discussion. And most of the time, if you don't have a grip over your current affairs portion, then it is little difficult for you to perform well in the group discussion or the interview round. Is it clear for everybody? Just tell me in the comment section. Yes, Ayush, you are right. Hi Wagmi, how are you? Welcome to the session. See, how to start preparation for current affairs? I can give you a simple way. Let me just give you one example. Are you ready to listen the example? Just tell me in the comment section. Are you ready to listen the example? And you have to be very enthusiastic when you come for the session for current affairs, especially this session. It should be more and more interactive. It should be bi-directional. And I need your motivation throughout the session so that I can also motivate you. Let me just give you one simple example. Suppose right now you pick up any newspaper, you pick up any media. Can you tell me what are the 2-3 most important news running all the time? The first one is the Ukraine crisis. Yes or no? The first one is Ukraine crisis. If you go in terms of international news, and if you go for inside India, in India, the 5 states elections were on the top of the list if you talk about the last week. Now let us try to understand that how you should prepare for these 2 important topics. Let us first discuss about Ukraine crisis. Now if you are just reading the newspaper, if you are just reading the media and you don't have that backward linkage, then it is not possible for you to understand the Ukraine crisis or the war between Russia and Ukraine in a complete sense, in a comprehensive sense. The story behind this war actually starts since World War I. Now you will be little surprised that how after so many years, how America became the sole power in the world. Why not other countries became the power? Now please understand, whether it is World War I or World War II, 1914, 1990 and 1939 to 1945. These 2 world wars, they cause significant damage in terms of property, in terms of men and so many other things. But that contained only in the certain region of European countries. Because of the very specific geographical location of United States or America, you can say, because of the geographical location, it is isolated from the European countries belt. So America was least affected in these 2 world wars. Now whenever a country goes for a war, it requires a lot of resources. During these 2 wars, especially the Second World War, America gave high conditions loan to these European countries. And since 1945, there was a Cold War between America and Russia. Who is going to be the world superpower? In terms of scientific achievements, in terms of society and so many other things, industrialization and lot of things. So the story actually starts after 1945 during the Cold War time. Why we call it Cold War? Cold War means the 2 countries are not going to confront each other directly. You see, since 1945 to 1991, Russia or USSR and America, they do not fight each other directly. But they fought many wars on a third country's soil. This is what we call as Cold War. Now this story was disrupted in 1989 or especially 1991 when the USSR was disintegrated and Ukraine was one of the country which exit from USSR. The group of the European countries, which is also called as NATO. Slowly Ukraine become closer to NATO. And there has been several developments because of which there has been a tension between Ukraine, backed by NATO, and the Russia. So there are a lot of things you have to focus upon. Now they can talk about Cold War also in the examination. They can talk about World War also. So whenever you go for any current affairs specific topic, you have to see the backward linkage and the forward linkage also. Now what is the forward linkage? I just discussed the backward linkage for the Russia and Ukraine crisis right now. What is the forward linkage? Forward linkage is, if you are going to appear in any interview, what is the most obvious question logically can be asked? They can simply ask you, what are the stakes as far as India is concerned for Russia and Ukraine war? Are you getting this? So this is how you should approach the current affairs. Second is the recent 5 state elections conducted in India, UP, Uttarakhand, Punjab, and so on. You can understand. Now, because of these elections, there has been a high demand from the opposition parties that they do not have a complete trust on the EVMs. Now, you can expect that there can be some question here or there, or some resolution of this doubt or confusion among the mind of the opposition parties or who lose the elections. On the other hand, in the minds of the voters also, how you can ensure transparency in the electoral system. So this is how every single topic that you find in the current affairs, whether you are reading a good newspaper or you are following a particular media, you always go and research for the backward and the forward linkage. Then only you will be having a grip over that particular topic. Is it clear? Everybody just tell me in the comment section. Yes. Arpan Oja, if you are in first year, this is the right time to start your preparation. You can follow the backend team. Okay, you can contact the helpline number BYJU'S exam prep, and they are going to guide you in the best possible way how you can start with your preparation. So everybody just tell me in the comment section, is it okay for you and shall we start the session? Let me just brief you. The ideal duration of the session is going to be approximately 45 minutes. The ideal duration of the session is going to be approximately 45 minutes. And if you are ready for the current affairs episode 1, then we can start the session. And let me tell you, this series is going to be a complete guidance, ultimate guidance for all the engineers. Whatever exam you are going to appear, whatever interview you are going to appear, whatever group discussion you are going to appear, these sessions are going to be extremely beneficial for you. So let us start with the session. Some of you may be joining me for the first time, so there is a brief introduction about myself. My name is Ashutosh, as you can see on the screen. I have 11 plus years of teaching experience, completed MTech from BYJU'S in 2010. I have written a couple of books, and my areas of expertise are power system, electrical machines, electromagnetic field theory, material science, and obviously engineering ethics. All the sessions I am going to take as far as current affairs is concerned, or any other session is concerned, all those sessions, complete PPTs or the PDFs are going to be available on my personal Telegram channel on BYJU'S exam prep, that is Electrical by Ashutosh Saxena. You will be getting all the PDFs, exam jobs notification, daily quizzes, important study notes, doubt discussion, personal interaction, and for all my class notifications. So these are the benefits you can get. If you are interested, then you can go and join this Telegram channel. Now before I start the session, today itself on 13th of March, a very important workshop is going to be conducted at 12:30 p.m. by your favorite and my favorite Abhinav Negi sir. He is going to talk about the strategy to conquer GATE 2023. But this session is not going to be available on YouTube. In order to access this session, you have to go to the BYJU'S exam prep app that you can download from the Google Play Store, and you have to register yourself. Is it clear? Let us start with the first topic. What is radio frequency radiation? What is radio frequency radiation? Now you will say, sir, why you have picked this topic? Directly you are going for radio frequency radiation. What is the reason? The reason is, if you see nowadays, for most of the people, their complete life is surrounded by the electronic gadgets. It may be your mobile, it may be your earphone, it may be your TV, it may be your laptop, and so many other electronic gadgets. Now, there has been recently quite a debate that the radiations that are emitting from these devices, are they harmful for the human beings in terms of immediate, short-term and the long-term consequences? Now, most of these devices, they actually emit the radiation in the radio frequency range, and this is what we call as radio frequency radiation. And this is something which can be asked in your examination also, and which you can use if you are getting a question in any of the interview. For example, suppose the interviewer is saying that most of the time people are involved in social media, people are involved in their mobile phones, laptops, and lot of electronic gadgets. So do you see, is there any problem? Now, this question he is not directly asking you about the radio frequency radiation, but if you have this information, definitely you can give a much better answer than other candidates. Let us try to understand what is this. Radio frequency radiation, which includes radio waves and microwaves, they are the low energy end of the electromagnetic spectrum. Basically, they are low energy end of the electromagnetic spectrum. The most important statement that you can get in any of the UPSC question is that these are non-ionizing radiation. Now, what is non-ionizing radiation? Let us try to understand. Now, this is important. I am going to put a star here. And if you are attending my sessions, yes, my friend, whether you are preparing for yes, ESC or any other good examination, these sessions are going to be helpful for you. This is GBL. I don't write IMP. You see, most of the people, they are writing IMP. IMP actually means devil's son, son of the devil. So I don't write IMP. It's better you write GBL. GBL stands for something extremely important which may come in your examination, and the full form is Gaat Bandh Lo. Is it clear, everybody? Just tell me in the comment section. Now, what is non-ionizing radiation? Let us try to understand. Non-ionizing radiation does not have enough energy to remove electrons from an atom. One more example is visible light. Visible light is another type of non-ionizing radiation. Radio frequency radiation has lower energy than some other types of non-ionizing radiation like visible light and infrared, but it has higher energy than extremely low frequency radiation. This is also important. Is it clear, everybody? Now see, the examples of high energy radiation includes X-rays and gamma rays. You must be aware with that. If somebody is going for X-ray scan, then nobody is allowed to enter in that room. Even the person who is taking the X-ray, he is also sitting with a shield. Yes or no? These rays, as well as some higher energy UV radiations, are the forms of ionizing radiation. What is ionizing radiation? Which has the energy, enough energy to remove an electron from an atom, that is, they ionize an atom. Now, these high energy radiations, they can produce harm. They can damage the DNA or the genes inside the cells, which can sometimes result in cancer. Even though, let me tell you, there are no direct evidences which suggest that radio frequency radiations coming out of the various electronic gadgets, whether it is 3G, 4G, whatever it may be, there are no you can say clear-cut facts or evidences which shows that they also cause cancer for human beings, but still it is under the research process, so we are not sure about it, but there may be some damaging long-term consequences. Let us try to understand how people can be exposed to the radio frequency radiation. Actually, radio frequency radiation is going to be available both naturally and the man-made. If you see, the natural sources are outer space and the sun, the sky including the lightning strikes, the earth itself. Most radiation from the earth is infrared, but a tiny fraction is radio frequency also. Is it clear? Are you getting that how you should approach any particular topic and how you are going to understand that which topic is going to be important for your examination or interviews? If you talk about the man-made radio frequency radiation sources, now please try to understand how many examples can be there. Broadcasting radio and television signals, just now we discussed about it. Transmitting signals from cordless telephones, cell phones, cell phone towers, satellite phones and two-way radios. Now this is something which was in news very recently, and this is why I have picked this topic, but this is going to be a very hot topic in the coming time. So I have picked this topic. Then radar, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth devices, smart meters, the heating of the body tissues to destroy them in medical procedures, welding, pieces of polyvinyl chloride using certain machines, and millimeter wave scanners, a type of full body scanner used for security screening. Now please try to understand, whenever you go for some entertainment in any of the malls, yes, for shopping or any other purpose, you see there is a first hand security check, PPP. That is also going to cause some amount of radio frequency radiation, which may be harmful if there is going to be very frequent impact. Is it clear, everybody? Are you getting this? Now let us talk about the next topic. Just now I told you that very recently 5 states elections has been conducted, and it has been a continuous cry from the parties who lose the elections that there is some lack of transparency in the EVMs. So this question may be asked in your exams directly or indirectly. It may be asked directly in your interviews, that what is the solution? How the voters can be ensured that the electoral process is completely transparent? How they can restore the trust of the people in the mandate which the winning party gets? How it can be done? So the solution is VVPAT. What is VVPAT? The full form is Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial. Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial. Let me just brief you what is the idea. The idea is, suppose EVM machine is in front of you and you are giving your precious vote to a particular political party. Now what you get in response is just a beep sound. Yes or no? You just get a beep sound, but you don't get any response in return that whatever vote you have casted, that is actually going to the party which you actually wanted to. It means you get a positive response ensuring that your vote has been submitted to your specific choice of the party. Now in this particular system, there is a you can say there is a separate slip, there is a sequence number, there is a complete information, and it shows that your vote has been given to such and such political party, and that chit is not going to be given to you, that will be just taken by the machine itself, but it shows you that your vote has been casted to your desired political party. Now VVPAT is going to be a very effective solution to ensure transparency in the electoral process. What is this? Let us try to understand. Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial is an independent system, underline, attached with the electronic voting machines that allows the voters to verify that their votes are cast as intended. Votes are cast as intended. When a vote is cast, a slip is printed containing the serial number, name and the symbol of the candidate and remains exposed through a transparent window for 7 seconds. Thereafter, this printed slip automatically gets cut and falls in the sealed drop box of the VVPAT. VVPATs with EVM were used for the first time in a by-election from 51 Nok-sen in the Assembly constituency of Nagaland. Now, this is something important. When was the first time when VVPAT was used in any of the by-elections? So, it was in Nagaland. So, can you remember this? Everybody just tell me in the comment section. Are you able to follow this? Can you remember this? That VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trial, a significant, effective solution for bringing transparency and the trust of the voters in the electoral process. It was first used in the by-election of Nagaland. Can you remember this? Now let us talk about very recently there was one news that one of the chairperson of high-powered committee on the Char Dham project, very recently a judge was recruited. Justice Sikri was recruited in that capacity. So let us talk about that. What is this? And Char Dham project is going to be important for you in the coming examinations. The Supreme Court appoints ex-judge Sikri as the chairperson of the high-powered committee on Char Dham project. So let me just first tell you that if I am bringing something to this session, these sessions, you please understand that news or that current affair particular topic is going to be extremely important for you. It's like skimming the milk. You know what is skimming the milk? Like you take out the cream out of the milk. That is what we call as skimming. So these sessions I research a lot of resources. I use trusted resources, government websites, Press Information Bureau, and from there I am bringing these topics and I am bringing the content, so you can trust upon these, and not only the topics but the content also. Why it is going to be important and how it can be asked and how you can use it in some of your examinations or the interview. Now, because of the increasing tension in several last year between India and China, any project which deals with any neighboring any state or the boundary state which has a common boundary with China, that project is going to be extremely important. And this is the same thing what is going to happen, what happened in this case also. The Supreme Court on Friday announced its ex-judge A.K. Sikri as the chairperson of the high-powered committee which would consider the cumulative and independent impact of the Char Dham project on the entire Himalayan valley. We'll talk about Char Dham project also. A bench of Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and Suryakant accepted the resignation of Professor Ravi Chopra. The earlier chairperson was Ravi Chopra, Professor Ravi Chopra. On December 14 last year, the top court had allowed double lane widening of the strategic Char Dham highway project in Uttarakhand, observing that the country's, now this is something why it is important, GBL, country's security concerns may change over time. Okay, can you read this statement again? Observing that the country's security concern may change over time and the recent past has thrown serious national security challenges. Because of this serious national security challenges, this is important one. Now, what is Char Dham project? Let us try to understand. The Char Dham Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana, this is the complete name, Char Dham Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana, whose foundation stone was laid in December 2016. It seeks to improve connectivity between 4 pilgrimages sites, that is Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri and Gangotri in Uttarakhand. The following are some of the benefits regarding the Char Dham project. Number 1, it will boost the tourism. Second, It will bring down the rate of accidents and improved border security, as the army can deploy faster to the Chinese border. Is it clear? Is it clear, everybody? Just tell me in the comment section, are you able to follow this? Yes? Clear? Now let us talk about the Biological Weapons Convention. Now why I am talking about this, let us try to understand. One of the most hot topic today is the Russia-Ukraine war. Now what is happening? Russia is alleging that there are certain labs, biolabs. There are certain laboratories, okay? These laboratories, they deals with very dangerous, contagious pathogens or the bacteria. And it is Russia's version that these biolabs are being financed or supported from the back by United States. Now these labs can act as a medium for biological war. And this is why Russia wants this issue to be taken or considered under the Biological Weapons Convention. And this is why this was a hot topic in the recent news, and this can be asked in number of ways in your various examinations. The Biological Weapons Convention effectively prohibits the development, production, acquisition, transfer, stockpiling, and the use of biological and toxin weapons. It was the first multilateral disarmament treaty banning an entire category of weapons of mass destruction. And let me tell you one more thing. Why this biological dimension of war has become important? Let me tell you, you must have observed that in the recent past 20 years or 30 years, whatever may be your age, everybody has witnessed that when Corona pandemic situation was there, COVID situation was there, everybody was helpless. Even the governments were not able to handle the situation in a proper way. Why? Because a contagious disease is something which spreads like anything. So whether it is going to be resources or whether it is going to be the loss of lives or the property or anything, it is something which is very difficult to manage. And the next level of wars are going to be definitely fought by using these biological weapons. In the recent past, if you see any of the wars, it has been termed that biological weapons are secretly developed and they can be used. But there are two sides. Definitely US denies all these facts, but because it is in news, so we have to read it. The Biological Weapons Convention is a key element in the international community's effort to address the weapons of mass destruction proliferation, and it has established a strong norm against biological weapons. The convention has reached almost universal membership with 183 states and 4 signatory states. It was formerly known as the Convention on the Prohibition of Development, Production and Stockpiling of Bacteriological and Toxin Weapons and on their destruction. The convention was negotiated by the Conference of Committee on Disarmament in Geneva, Switzerland, and it opened for signature on 10th April 1972 and entered into force in 26 March 1975. The Biological Weapons Convention supplements the 1925 Geneva Protocol, which had prohibited only the use of biological weapons. It is started with the prohibition on the development of biological weapons, but now it has come into a great force and it is a comprehensive treaty for all the parties in order to avoid any such situation of biological war, weapons or the toxins. Is it clear for everybody? Just tell me in the comment section. Are you able to follow me in this? State parties to the Biological Weapons Convention undertook never in any circumstances to develop, produce, stockpile or otherwise acquire or retain microbial or other biological agents or toxins, whatever their origin or method of production, of types and in quantities that have no justification of prophylactic, protective and other peaceful purposes. Weapons, equipments or means of delivery designed to use such agents or toxins for hostile purposes or in armed conflict. Now there are 10 articles. Article 1 talks about undertaking. Are you able to visualize this? Are you able to see this? I think it is little small in the front because I have taken the snapshot. It is from the United Nations website and it is open for all. So I can use this. Is it clear? Are you able to read it? If you want, you can take a snapshot also. It is also available. If you search it on the internet, you can find it. There are 10 articles. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, so I think there is some missing article. There may be some missing article. But we have to focus on these. We have to focus on these 8. Okay, we have to focus on these 8. Now these articles, they are not going to ask you in a complete form that they will be asking what is in Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4. But there are some articles which you may find very frequently in the newspaper or the magazines or in some media, which may have some indirect effect as far as India is concerned. So that article is going to be important. That can be asked in your examination. Is it clear? Are you able to follow this? So you can take a snapshot either from here or you can go to the Google and you can find it. You just need to type articles for Biological Weapons Convention 1972. Now what is the story behind this news? Russia claims that biological weapons are being developed in laboratories in Ukraine with support from the United States. Russia has accused the US and the Ukraine of working with pathogens of dangerous infection. Pathogens of dangerous infections in 30 laboratories across the country. Pathogens are microorganisms that can cause disease. The most simple example of pathogens you can understand when you drink the water, okay? Before drinking it, you just see it once, whether something is there in the water or not. And most of the time you see there is nothing. With your naked eyes, you are not able to see the pathogens which may be present in the water, especially when you are drinking the water outside. So it is always better that you drink the safe water outside. But if you have a magnifying glass and you see in general random outside water, if you see, that is not going to be drinkable, that is not going to be potable water because a lot of pathogens may be present in that water. Ukraine has dozens of public health laboratories that work to research and mitigate the threats of dangerous diseases. Additionally, the US set up its biological threat reduction program in 1990s following the fall of Soviet Union to reduce the risk from biological weapons that had been left behind in countries including Ukraine. Are you able to follow this? Are you able to follow why it is important and why it can be later on asked in your examination? The next important news is, what is rain bomb? The rare weather phenomena that caused mayhem in Australia. Very recently there was a flood situation, flash flood situation in Australia, and almost 8 people died. But they are not going to ask you this. They can ask you what is rain bomb. They can ask you what is rain bomb and how it can be related with your environment and ecology. That is also important. Australia is currently facing catastrophic weather events as a result of global warming. Australia's third most populous city, that is Brisbane, was underwater Monday after heavy rain brought record flooding to some east coast areas and killed 8 people. Now the rain bombs are destructive in nature and rain bombs are also known as wet microburst. This is actually the, you can say, geographical term used for rain bombs. Rain bomb is actually, you can say, media term, popular term. What is microburst? A microburst is a small column of sinking air, known as downdraft. You can understand it something like this. With a high speed that forms within a thunderstorm and has a diameter of less than or equal to 2.5 miles. Microburst can cause significant surface damage and can also be life-threatening. Wet microburst and dry microburst are the two main varieties of microburst. Wet microburst are accompanied by a lot of rain. It begins with the formation of a thunderstorm and the water droplets or hailstones suspended within the updraft, and updraft can sometimes be so strong that it suspends huge amount of these hailstones and water droplets in the upper reaches of the thunderstorm, and this overall phenomena we call as rain bomb. Are you getting this? Is it clear? Now, cooling due to evaporation occurs, and this causes a decrease of the updraft. Now, when this happens, the thunderstorm's huge core of rain and hail will no longer be able to hold it, and thus the core falls to the ground and it spreads out in all directions as soon as it strikes the ground. The area where this microburst initially hits the earth has the strongest winds and the most damage. Is it clear, everybody? Just tell me in the comment section. I'm not able to see your responses. Yes, everyone? Can you just tell me, are you able to follow me or not? Now see the last one. What is xenotransplantation and why it is in news and how it can be asked in your examination? Xenotransplantation. In a medical first time in the history of medical science, a gene-edited pig heart has been transplanted into a human patient for the first time, and that is why this is in news. Now, what is xenotransplantation? According to FDA, xenotransplantation is any procedure that involves the transplantation, implantation, or the infusion into a human recipient of either live cells, tissues, organs from a non-human animal source. Non-human animal source, or human body fluid, cells, tissues, or organs that have had ex vivo. Ex vivo means external, not internally. Contact with live non-human animal cells. Non-human animal cells, tissues, or organs. So basically you can understand when it comes to transplantation from any particular animal that is gene edited, because directly that is not possible. There may be issues like infections and other diseases. So a gene edited animal organs, if that can be transplanted to some human body to save his or her life, this is what we call as xenotransplantation. Is it clear, everybody? Yes. On 7th of January 2022, a team of US doctors successfully transplanted a gene-edited pig heart into a patient with terminal heart disease. Xenotransplantation, that is implanting organs from one species to another, is a growing field, and scientific advances could help address organ transplant shortages. The procedure has stirred up conversation around ethical dilemmas, animal rights, and ways to boost the organ transplantations donations through other methods. So this is all what I wanted to discuss for today. I hope you must have enjoyed the session. And my friend, let me tell you, current affairs is something which cannot be built in 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, or 15 days. It is a regular process. So if you want to get a hold on current affairs And if you want to remove all your worries as far as current affairs is concerned, whatever exam you are targeting, do not forget to join me in these sessions. These sessions are going to be conducted daily. Sorry, not daily. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. in the morning, 11 a.m. in the morning, only on Byjus Exam Prep English YouTube channel. So do not forget to like, share and subscribe so that you get all the important notifications in time. This is my personal Telegram channel on Byjus Exam Prep. For all these benefits, if you are interested, you can join this Telegram channel. Do not forget to download the Byjus Exam Prep app from the Google Play Store if you have not downloaded it till now. Thank you so much. Take care. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody. Thank you Rahul, Wagmi, Shashank, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep smiling.